What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. Welcome to the RNEWS Morning Show, and let's just jump into it. From r/news, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, champion of gender equality, dies at 87. Now let's watch the Senate, who's barely done anything the last 6 months, kick it into overdrive and ram through a justice in 3 months. 3 months. Remember last week when Cruz made a public announcement that he wasn't interested in being a justice? They knew she was dying. They already had their pick, and most likely already had the paperwork done, too. By the end of the month, tops, they aren't going to give this up. This country is fricked, officially fricked, for decades. Even if Trump loses, it's all over. Conservatives won, and this country lost for at least a generation. I'm skeptical. Republicans rushing through a judge will piss off moderates and assure their loss of the Senate in November. What moderates? Do they even exist anymore? Moderates do exist, you just won't find them in echo chambers. 3 months. I bet they have someone confirmed by the end of October. I bet they have someone confirmed by the end of next week. And announced no later than Monday. Show of power to galvanize their faltering evangelical base. Trump will announce a candidate before Monday, in some tasteless way. On a completely non-political note, frick cancer. Frick cancer. The day we beat cancer will be a day enshrined in the history not of a nation, but of a species. Frick cancer. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News, Trump claims Canada wants border reopened. Canadians disagree. 2 reasons Canada wants to keep the border closed. Pandemic Trump. I think you got the order swapped. Canadian chiming in. Can confirm. Don't want crazy. Don't want to die. Another fellow Canadian here. No thanks on the crazy. Might consider constructing an ice wall to block off the south. Edit. Thanks for the hug award, neighbor. Bower. Or make all the land for 5 kilometers north of the border accessible only to those on ice skates. And tell the locals to remember that the Americans have the puck. And there's no penalty box. Edit. Thanks for the doubloon. Canada, I am so sorry. This is all very embarrassing. It's fricked up because I love Americans and your beautiful country. Why did you have to go and make it physically unsafe to visit? Misogyny, apathy, religion, and racism. The usual. Now, with added science denial. Before we even consider it, I respectfully request that he first point out Canada on a map. He'll just grab his Sharpie and draw it somewhere. Wishful thinking. Majority of Canadians are already fed up with Americans passing through, on their way to Alaska, and decide to do some shopping, sightseeing and dining out on their way. Opening the borders all the way isn't going to happen anytime soon. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/Politics, Schumer, Ruth Bader Ginsburg seat should be filled by next president. Dems need to be willing and ready to wage a holy war on this issue. Whatever rule that can be bent, should. Every loophole in Senate parliamentary procedure, exploited. Every dirty trick brought to bear. Essentially give them the full McConnell. The time to wage a holy war was in 2016. The Dems fought hard but the people failed America and gave Trump the presidency and a friendly Senate. So we all now just have to suffer through the consequences. The best time to wage a holy war was in 2016. The second best time is now. If Trump was smart, he'd agree. He should announce that he will follow McConnell's precedent and nominate a replacement as his first action during his next term. It would turn out the evangelicals in droves. Also, McConnell would choke on his lettuce when he found out. Remember that Trump has no loyalty to the base. All he wants to do is win another term and avoid prison. Actually, this is a great point. Thing is, if he loses, he still has 2 months to install his pick. If he loses, he could trade it for a pardon. I would say McConnell has set precedent on not approving a judge during an election year with Merrick Garland, but that little crap will truly try to push someone through and it will be some Trump monkey that will do his bidding. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/News, Pope Francis to parents of LGBT children, God loves your children as they are. Catholic extremists, the Pope is evil. My Catholic parents talk crap about the Pope all the time. It's because this Pope cares for the sick, doesn't care about sexuality, cares about brown people and thinks that as a society, We should be selfless and go out of our ways to help others. Unfortunately, being Christian, Catholic means something else nowadays. Are they even Catholic if they talk crap about the Pope? The news show they watch occasionally. www.youtube.com edit. LMAO. This one's is titled The Vortex. Satan at the Vatican, and it's weird because the host definitely gives like a 90s down low BJ in the park restroom vibe. Edit. Adding this comment I made on another thread in here. I remember my dad watching a religious news show a few years ago and the guy talking about how gays might not pay for their sins on earth but they'll pay when they go to hell. My parents always suspected him gay. It's weird growing up and not trusting your parents. Holy frick, that's so crappy and toxic. Your parents need help. I know a lot of Catholics who dislike Pope Francis and still sorta look towards the teachings of Benedict. I'm not sure that's the way it's supposed to work, man. Shrugging. God herself could come from the heavens and tell these buttholes to get their crap together, and they would claim she was the devil because they don't want to change their ways. You mean like what happened to Jesus in the Bible? You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/uplifting news. Pope Francis to parents of LGBT children, God loves your children as they are. I'm no Catholic, or Christian for that matter, but I dig this stoic guy. This could help so many kids. Edit. OMG guys, I just said I like him saying this. I wasn't condoning his other terrible actions. It won't cure anything. I just said it was a good thing to say. Yeah, you done goofed. You can't side with religion on Reddit and expect to gain karma. Which, I guess kind of makes sense in a dogmatic sense. Pope Francis seems to be a good guy by church standards anyway. I think he is a little flip-floppy. Good when you want him to be good. Bad when you want him to be good. Francis, trans people are evil and going to overthrow the natural order of creation and disfigure the face of man and woman. Also Francis, LGBT kids are okay. I think he doesn't mean all LGBT. Thinking face. When would you ever not want him to be good? Sometimes you want a bad boy. Half this thread is pedo priest jokes and atheism circle jerk. The atheism crowd is the most mentally challenged group on Reddit. And I say that being an atheist myself. Never seen so many people absolutely hate something they don't understand at all. The average age of atheism is probably 14. Atheist adults just don't care about religion and subscribe to the live and let live philosophy. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics. His sex crimes. Credible. Repeat allegations of sexual assault should disqualify Trump from a second term. And yet the GOP hypocrisy runs deep. Don't forget in Alabama they said they would rather have a pedophile than a Democrat. Exactly this. Doug Jones barely squeaked out a win against a pedophile. This country is frick. Be fair, Moore just came in a little behind. Brew came up a little short. Hit the under 18 demographic. Signed a yearbook in his 30s. He keeps getting older, they stay the same age. Alt-right, alt-right, alt-right. Mitch McConaughey. The 13-year-old accusing both he and Epstein of raping her should be enough by itself. But the GOP just doesn't care. Her testimony was the most disgusting thing I have ever read. Edit, read it here. I think it's the 40% of America that voted for him that is the real enabler. You don't have a Donald Trump problem. You have a 40% of the electorate is insane problem. This will not be fixed with one election. This has been a couple of generations in the making. It's gonna take a while to sort this out. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like. And if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show and I'll see you tomorrow.